So about a week ago, a movie came to my attention called A Ghost Story. I do remember seeing trailers for it at the theater when I saw it comes out at night, or it only comes out at night or whatever. It never came out at night. I remember the movie preview being kind of bizarre yet intriguing. It had a 4:3 aspect ratio, had kind of a Polaroid, rounded corners look to it, very film grainy, old school style. Artsy, I guess would be the appropriate term there. Indie. Cannes Film Festival type of shit. It came back to my attention recently with glowing reviews, a few people recommending it, but then others saying it's the worst thing on the planet and you should avoid it at all costs. So then naturally I wanted to see it. My interest was piqued. What I got was artsy. What I got was very slow, intentionally meandering, intentionally kind of mute, drab, not a lot of life to the picture. And that's understandable, as it's a movie about death. It's a movie about time, as they would tell you. It's a love story. It's kind of a lot of different things at once. It's what you want it to be, basically. Take what you will from it. And that's the big takeaway from me going into this is you get what you put into one of these types of films. There's very little dialogue. There are a lot of really long, lingering shots that last upwards of 6 minutes. The one that's been joked about the most is the scene where Rooney Mara, our female lead, eats the pie to its completion and then throws it up because she's depressed. She was, like sad eating or whatever it's called. There is a term for it. I'm forgetting it off the top of my head. I'm always sad eating, so that's just kind of a natural thing for me. I didn't outright hate the movie. I did watch with my wife, and she did. She thought it was a complete waste of time. The plot is extremely basic. Our character lead, Casey Affleck, who's known as C, I guess, according to IMDb, and then Rooney Mara, M. I don't know if they're married. I guess I didn't pay enough attention, or if they're just boyfriend and girlfriend. Regardless, they were deeply in love. You could tell because there was another scene that lasted 4 or 5 minutes where they just lay on each other and look deeply into each other's eyes. Fast forward a day, Casey Affleck's killed in a car accident, and we have our ghost. Hence the movie title, Ghost Story. The remainder of the picture sees Casey Affleck in his sheet the entire film, just kind of chilling out at the house, taking in the environment, the sights, the sounds. We're not really sure what he's feeling because there's no emotion on his face. It's just a couple holes cut out of a sheet, which take me back to high school. And then there's just the comings and goings of the people living in the house. I guess there's spoilers in this video, but really it amounts to very little because, as I stated multiple times now, this movie doesn't give you much to go on. Or it gives you a lot to go on. I mean, whatever you want. Taster's choice here. It's a la carte. I will say the last third of the film runs way better than the first, and that's of course by design. The director wants you to soak in the tediousness of life, especially the lows, where she's sitting on the floor eating a piece of pie, where she's simply moving a old chest out down the sidewalk. The camera sits there and kind of just drags along with her for a little while. And all the time I'm thinking, man, I could be playing Doom right now, or I could be watching grass grow, or anything. Anything would be more exciting, but that's his point, so you can't really criticize it. I guess that's the out that people will say. I will criticize it. There could have been a lot more interesting camera shots. There could have been just a different way to approach this movie was still getting the point across. The aspect ratio and the visuals did not bother me. I actually liked them, although at the same time it was bizarre that they were going for this old photograph look when a majority of the film is in modern day setting. They're on computers, phones, etc. So it did kind of take me out, although as the movie progresses you realize that this is going to be a time capsule film that's going to span decades, millennia actually. And by the end, things are going to repeat. Our ghost is going to relive the events of the past and finally get that closure that he needed. On a note that we can't read because fuck you. This is artsy. This is different. This isn't everything else you've been seeing lately. This isn't a superhero movie. It goes in the extreme opposite direction to show you that movies can be more than just loud explosions, over-the-top exposition, things of that nature. This is a quaint film. It's quiet. It's subtle. It is what you take from it. And what I took from it was a lackluster affair that was artsy for the sake of being artsy. It was different for the sake of being different, and it didn't have really anything too exciting going for it. Outside a phenomenal scene later on in the film where the house is demolished and then rebuilt as a city skyscraper, and it gets very futuristic, very haunting. The music works flawlessly. I will say that. The music is beautifully done. It's haunting, it's intricate, yet simple all the same. But when it's all said and done, it's really just a note on a piece of paper that you can't read. You put the words down that you want this film to be. One person's 10 is another person's 1, and I really think this is a film that is going to be one or the other. Although I somehow managed to be right in the middle on this. I did not love it. I did not outright hate it, but I certainly don't want to watch it again. You're either going to be bored out of your fucking mind or interested to see what the ghost sees next. Final thought, why the hell is Casey Affleck in this? He's extremely overrated. Why is he being praised for this film? He does nothing in it. Every time I see Casey Affleck, he looks like he'd rather be doing anything else than being in the film he's in. He's so fucking boring. He's just like, hey babe, Casey Affleck, cool. I'm making music. You want to listen? I don't really want to listen to it. Maybe you do. I don't care if you want to. Casey, I'm gonna go get something to eat. Do you want something to eat? I don't want anything to eat anymore. I'm not hungry. I'm gonna go in a sheet now for the rest of the film.